Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Hillbilly Wine 101. And got something really cool tonight that I'm excited about. And my man Wendell over here, my old beat partner, has brought it to me. Wendell, what have you brought me today? Look at this here. Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Shiraz. Finished in aged whiskey oak barrels. That's right. I've done a lot of wines aged in bourbon barrels, but this says double oaked. Why? Because between 12 and 18 months, depending on how the winemaker feels it's developing, it is put in a combination of American and French oak. Then, that's barrel number one. Then it is put in the Shiraz Scotch barrels. And Scotch barrels, Scotch doesn't use fresh barrels. Bourbon does. So that means something was in the Scotch barrel, probably bourbon, but who knows, before Scotch was put into it. This company here is, I think, the biggest, or one of the biggest wineries in Australia. They import their wines to over 60 countries. And a little bit, not much history on it. They own Jameson and they own Chivas Regal. So obviously this barrel here, that this was the second barrel, came from their Chivas Regal distillery. Is there anything else I want to talk about this? No, I think that's it. All right, so they put out their first wine in 1975. All right, there it is. So I'm excited. This was $11.99 and it's 14.8% ABV. There's no year on here, but on the back it says Jacob's Creek Double Barrel, Shiraz, Australia, 4th vintage, which probably denotes when this was bottled. And I'm assuming that means, I don't know, 4th year they did this. I don't know exactly what 4th vintage means. To craft double barrel Shiraz, we started with rich, concentrated ripe fruit from selected vineyards. The Shiraz was first matured in traditional oak barrels, combination of French and American, before being finished and aged in Scotch whiskey oak barrels from Chivas Regal. This unique double barrel technique imparts additional layers of complexity and smoothness. Now, much like the bourbon, you're not going to taste the whiskey probably. I would actually like them to do it longer in there and actually impart some of that flavor. But they don't really want to do that. You're going to get some, but it's not something probably you're going to be able to pick out. It's supposed to add some smoothness and round it out. And I guess there's some subtle flavors that aren't so pronounced, but that are in there. So anyway, let's see. It's a screw cap here, so crack her open. And obviously I've had, if you look, I have a playlist, which I think I'm going to change to, I think I have bourbon barrel. Dang, I smell. But I think I'm going to change it to whiskey wine or something like that. Because I have one now, I have a bunch that are been aged in bourbon barrels, but I also have one that was aged in a rum barrel. And now I'm going to do one aged in a Scotch barrel. And when I get done with that, I'm going to have another video of this winery with one done in the Jameson Irish whiskey barrel. The Cabernet is done in the Irish whiskey barrel. So Irish whiskey, Scotch, a bunch of bourbons, and a rum. It's getting interesting. I was reading, some guy left a comment on one of the websites. His name was Mike Hamlet. I don't know him, but he said, would you consider this? He was kind of joking, wine ski. So I thought that's a cool little term, and I thought I'd give him a shout out because he's the one who thought of it. So let's get started. And I like Scotch, and I love wine. Whoa, 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 whoa! You know what? I wanted to can it first, so I'm going to can it. Let that fan against the sides. No, we need more than that here on Hillbilly Wine 101. Look at that. It's being aerated by this top here, and then as it hits the canner and fans out, it's getting more air. And Now it's got some surface area, and that's going to open it up a little bit, let the flavors release because they're tight from being in the barrel. It may soften the tannins real quick. I mean, it's you know, I'm aerated here, I've aerated here, and then I do a rough pour into here, and it's kind of a third aeration, as opposed to opening it and leaving it open for, you know, 20 minutes or an hour or something like that. So with fresh wines, it's good to decant it. Brings out the flavors. Old ones you'd be a little more delicate with. All right, so let's see what we got here, folks. I got, you know what it smells like? It smells like kind of like a fruit cake. Fruit cake. That's what it smells like. Fruit cake with a little chocolate. If you drizzled chocolate on a fruit cake. And wine does always smell a hair better than, I mean, it tastes great to me. But the smell is always, it doesn't exactly taste. If it did, then it would really be. But, so anyway, fruit cake with chocolate drizzled over it. And a little like toasty vanilla from all those barrels, I guess. Don't smell any whiskey. Did I say what the alcohol was? 14.8. A little high. Beautiful color. Beautiful ruby red. Give it a taste. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I swear I taste a little bit of that. See, you're not supposed to, even the winemaker says it's not there for taste. I mean, it adds taste, but not the Scotch taste. So maybe it's in my head, but I feel like I tasted a little bit. I taste the just the black fruits. First of all, it's dry, and with that alcohol content, you know, it would be. So it's a dry wine with medium plus tannin. All right, I'd say medium acidity. Has dark fruits, blackberry, blueberry, maybe some black cherry. A hint of the, it's like a spice in there. Not sure if it's like a nutmeg or a cinnamon on the back. Which I guess came from the wood. Not getting a lot of vanilla. It's got a full mouth feel. It is a little smoother probably than a lot of Shirazes. Of course, it's been in the oak barrels for 12 to 18 months and then put in the whiskey barrel. So the dark fruits, some kind of spicy cinnamon nutmeggy type taste on there. I don't taste a lot of vanilla. That's about it. Maybe a little, I don't know. Like I smelled that fruit cake, and it's something like maybe baked, maybe like instead of just fruits, maybe in a pie. There's some kind of bready taste. Not like bread, not bad, just kind of like a I don't know, like a pie or like a cake or something like that. So anyway, I like it. It's a little different. $11.99. I don't think you can go wrong with it. I would suggest it. It's a fun wine. It's cool. Get somebody who likes Scotch. It'd be a heck of a gift. Get somebody who likes wine. It'd be a heck of a gift. Get somebody who likes Shiraz. It'd be a heck of a gift. So this would be a heck of a gift. So, from Hillbilly Wine 101, cheers, everybody.